Good afternoon, everyone. It is 2:05 p.m. on Saturday, the 28th of September 2024. It is 31 degrees Celsius. It's very, very hot in Barbados. And my son and I just finished watching some CPL cricket. The Warriors just defeated the Kings in Providence, Guyana. It's 32 degrees now, actually. It's getting hotter. And today we are taking a drive from Bridgetown, from the Bridgetown Port, or the port of Bridgetown, to the north point of Barbados. We're doing this drive specifically for any visitors to Barbados who may be coming off of the port, maybe a cruise ship. That's it, the entrance to the port of Bridgetown. And anyone who wants to take a drive, if a cruise ship comes in and you have some hours to play with, it would be a nice idea to take a drive to the northernmost point of Barbados. We call it the North Point, and that is actually an area of significance because you can do a lot there. There's a lovely tourist attraction known as the Animal Flower Cave. If you Google it, you can see it's sort of you sort of walk down into a cave, and then there's an opening to the sea, and it's a very interesting adventure, an attraction rather, tourist attraction. And there's a restaurant there as well. You can have a nice meal because it's quite a long drive. So we started on the Princess Alice Highway. We are now on Prescott Boulevard, approaching the Elsie Payne roundabout. So I'm going to show you how to get there, not just talk about the drive, but we've turned onto this road. You can see where we went. Take this Elsie Payne roundabout, and you can see the catamarans out there. So you just take a nice cool drive, and when you start to see the Kensington Oval, as we are on the right, you know you're heading in the right direction. Hang a left onto the mighty Grynner Highway, and once you're on this highway, you can't go wrong. It's just straight driving for a long time. You just pass Rihanna Drive, and you just stay on the mighty Grynner Highway until you get to the roundabout, the Frank Worrell roundabout. So anybody renting a car, or maybe you could even hop on one of the taxis coming off a cruise ship, or if you come in from the airport and you're staying nearby, it's a similar route. If you're coming from the airport, you just come all the way along the ABC highway until you get to the highway that we're taking you to, the Darcy Scott roundabout. So take the highway and come all the way down to the Darcy Scott roundabout, which is where we are headed. And this highway used to be known as the Spring Garden Highway. So if you're a repeat visitor and you haven't been here for many years, you're looking for the Spring Garden Highway, now known as the mighty Grynner Highway, and this monument to the left is in recognition of his contribution to the arts in Barbados. The mighty Grynner, elderly man now, moving around with the assistance of a cane and a wheelchair. But I had the good fortune of seeing him perform at a fete over crop over. It's a very, very emotional moment for the people of Barbados, including their Prime Minister, who was the host of the fete, believe it or not. driving the length of the mighty Grynner Highway, having a look at some lovely mahogany trees, quite good for the environment. We've done this drive before, so you should be familiar with the power plant on the left, the Barbados Light and Power plant. This is a bit of a long journey, so we're going to drive a bit faster than usual, but you won't miss anything, because if you follow our videos you would have seen this before. That house to the left, if you look at it, you will see the roof is damaged. That's because there was a recent police chase, and as you can see, it's a sharp bend, so the vehicle lost control and crashed into the roof of those people's house. Apparently the driver or occupants of the vehicle had just shot someone at Nelson Street, I believe, or they had shot someone, I'm not sure where it was, and they were pursued by the police and eventually apprehended. So we got to the end of the mighty Grynner Highway, formerly known as Spring Garden, and this is the roundabout you want to pay attention to, visitors. You take the second exit. That first exit takes you along the west coast, and we're not taking that route, even though yes we can, but we want to show you also a bit of the road network, since we've done so many drives along the west coast. So continue up the Gordon Cummins Highway, the last stretch of the ABC Highway starting at the airport. This area here should be very familiar to graduates of the Caville campus of the University of the West Indies. Take a walk up here. Some people call it UE Hill, University Drive, which is not the formal name, but that's what some people call it. And we are driving through the university campus, so to speak. There are buildings on the left and the right. This is the CARICOM Research Park, where there's a building named for former Prime Minister, the late Owen Arthur. Student accommodation on the right. So any potential students looking to come to Caville to study law or whatever else the campus offers, medicine, political science, history, this is where you would traverse as a student, because all along behind those lovely trees that you see there are houses with apartments that are replete with accommodation for university students, and it's been a secondary source of income for many homeowners who rent their apartments and their homes to these students. All of this footage should be familiar to our regular viewers. We've done various journeys crossing this area and other areas, so no commentary needed here, and we'll just take a slight break until the traffic light is green. So we continue. Anybody learning this drive from the Bridgetown Port to the North Point, I hope you're keeping up with us. We drove the length of the mighty Grynner Highway. We took the second exit onto the ABC highway and staying straight. That's where we are now. Still on that one road. So it was just straight driving from the port off the Princess Alice Highway onto Prescott Boulevard, past the Elsie Payne roundabout, and then hit the mighty Grynner Highway. So I hope you all have that. And I hope you're timing it as well. We started at 2:05. What's the temperature now? Still 32 degrees. And we are entering Warrens. So we're staying straight, everyone. When you start to see these tall buildings, then you know you're on the right path. We will take the first exit and leave the ABC highway and get onto Highway 2A. Once you hit Highway 2A, then you're good until we get basically to St. Lucie. So it's just a straight, nice drive. Hopefully we won't encounter any traffic congestion. When you get here, viewers, you take this exit and be very careful because vehicles coming from the right may attempt, as this white vehicle is doing, to get into the lane that you are going on. So that black vehicle came into our lane. You want to be in the middle lane at this point, the beginning of Highway 2A from the Darcy Scott roundabout. And you just stay in this lane and drive for the length of the highway. Very, very simple. Making our way through Welches. This Highway 2A becomes the Ronald Map Highway. You'll start to see some signs shortly. So you can't go wrong. And when we get there, you're going to see one of the most beautiful sights you can see anywhere in Barbados. And I dare say anywhere in the Caribbean. You can go to all sorts of lookout points in the various islands, but there's something peculiar. There's something peculiar about the North Point, but I won't spoil the surprise. When we get there, you'll see. So we make our way along Highway 2A. This area is called Redmond's Village. There's a gas station there if you need to stop. So anyone following this drive and using it to traverse to the North Point, if you need gas, you want to stop at that gas station, because the next one is all the way to the end of the Ronald Map Highway. is the easiest, it is the fastest way to get to the north of Barbados, get to St. Lucie. If you had taken the first exit off the mighty Grynner Highway and went along the west coast, you would have a prettier drive. You'll be seeing the having an ocean front view on the left, but it's a much slower drive because that's where the public transport vehicles take passengers from point A to point B. It's a narrower road and it goes into several developments, so it's a much slower route than what we're doing now. Left turn takes you down to Sandy Lane Resort. Got some of these vehicles out. Down to Molyneux Road. We've talked about Molyneux Road in the past in other videos, and I like the name of that road because it reminds me of so much of Trinidad and things Trinidadian. For example, the surname Poligny. And Molyneux Road also reminds me of a plant with a similar name. Can't pronounce it at the moment, but hopefully I'll remember before the end of this drive. We've passed the Archhall Fire Station on the left. So when you'll take this journey, if you're mapping it out, if you're watching this before taking the drive, there are certain things to look out for, and that fire station there would be one. It's actually the Fire Academy. That's where they train fire officers. And the next is the St. Thomas Parish Church. Coming up on the left, you can see the wall of the church right now, the graveyard. The church didn't get into the camera, unfortunately. But you're taking the second exit. You're not going down with the church down to the west coast. You're staying on the highway and continuing, and it's the the Ronald Map Highway, Highway 2E. So you take the second exit past the St. Thomas Parish Church. So if you're mapping this journey, remember the St. Thomas Parish Church is something that you have to pass. Put it on your route. One of the sites. So if you notice, we started in Bridgetown, at the Bridgetown Port, that's St. Michael. And then we made our way through St. Thomas, just on the outskirts of St. James. So we passed through St. Thomas, Welches, exited. We are now making our way through St. James. So we could have got to St. James from the university had we turned left. Really and truly, if you're taking this drive, you just can't get lost as long as you stay on this highway. Always take the second exit. When you get to this Lancaster junction, be careful to veer left because the road was changed. If we didn't veer left just now, we would be in a lane for oncoming traffic. You get to the roundabout. Don't take that road to go down to the west coast. Pass the roundabout. Take the second exit and continue. So that's going to be the same thing until we get to the end of this highway. I don't trust the navigation systems because sometimes they give you a direction that takes you on this long convoluted route, and some of them get you lost. I think maybe because Barbados's road network isn't as well documented as some, and these navigation systems have a way of taking you to a dead end because it knows that the final destination is just beyond, but the road may become a dirt road. And so I prefer the old-time fashioned way of giving directions, and really and truly you don't need that if you just follow this highway. And use D&J drives. Use D&J drives as your map to get anywhere in Barbados. And we come to this traffic light, this controversial set of traffic lights. You can take the left to get down to Royal Westmoreland, or right to get to the Apes Hill polo facility and golf course. Of course, we are doing neither on this occasion. We are staying on the straight path to the north. It's now 2:30. So we've been driving for 25 minutes. I believe we started at 2:05 or just after 2:05. We are getting to Bakers and mile and a quarter, so that means St. Peter is with us. We've gone through St. James, so St. Michael, St. Thomas, St. James, now St. Peter. We are almost in St. Lucie. This is a nice piece of drive here. It becomes greener and greener, indicative of our proximity to countryside and to healthier air. So this is Bakers, and coming up on the left is Bakers Woods, a nice middle to high income residential area. On the left there, all of that foliage to the left conceals it. the rainy season, everywhere is extra green. And at this point you can see the ocean and the Arawak cement plant all the way ahead. That's where we're on the way to St. Lucie. We're not going to the cement plant itself because we will make a left to get to the north point. This is the turnoff for the Haymans Market on the left. Should have mentioned that if anyone wanted to get from the Bridgetown Port as well to Haymans. And I just want to make the point again that that roundabout we took to get onto this highway is called the Darcy Scott roundabout. It's just beyond Chefette and CGI Tower, and you can get there from the airport as well, or from St. Lawrence Gap, or any of the popular tourist destinations in terms of accommodation. Okay, so we're nearly at the end. Of the Ronald Map Highway. You will see this polo field on the right. That's a private residence and polo field. Once you see that, you know you are almost to the end. So you have to start paying attention from this point. Okay, so you come to this intersection and there are choices to be made. Now you're not going left. That takes you into Speightstown and the west coast. Get to this junction and we turn right. No sooner you make a left, and this is 1.25 miles, and it's easy to miss this left turn. Have we missed it? Station on the left, and this is our left turn coming up, and there's a sign saying Animal Flower Cave. So this is the turn off to get to the north point. If you remain on that road, you're going to end up going to the All Saints Church and making your way up to Farley Hill. This left turn at the 1.25 mile junction just after a mile and a quarter. You have to remember to look for that sign, Animal Flower Cave. It's easy to miss that left there. It's very unassuming. So we make our way through here. There's a Seventh-day Adventist church. This big church on the right, look out for that. We are in Rose Hill. So it's very important to pay attention at that juncture there. You make the right and then look for that left turn. Past the Sol gas station and then that very welcoming left that is quite easy to miss. Can't tell you the number of times I myself have missed it. Get to the Charles Duncan O'Neill Highway, you make a left. Nice smooth road. We are in St. Lucie at the moment. You can tell by the L's on the number plate. And then we stay here until we get to the St. Lucie Parish Church. A very beautiful structure actually. And every time we do a drive, as long as we pass a parish church or most churches, we make note of it, and the schools of the area. Those are very important institutions in any village, in any country, so we always highlight them. It's also nice to do it for the many Barbadians who live overseas, who miss home and have become our subscribers. They like to see the changes in their country, and that's another reason we do it. Ahead of us is the illustrious St. Lucie Parish Church and Graveyard or Cemetery. So if you come off, there's a church. We'll just go around the Theodore Branca roundabout one more time to illustrate the area. That's the highway, Charles Duncan O'Neill Highway there that we just exited. And there's one first exit, second exit. We are taking indeed the third exit. You pass the St. Lucie Parish Church on your left, and there's one right turn. You pass that first right turn, and you're looking for the second right. There's a sign saying Highway 1C, River Bay, Chance Hill, St. Clement's Church, Cove Bay. Turn right. And there's a sign saying Nestfield, St. Lucie. Once you're here, you just essentially stay on this road. It's a long winding road. Highway 1C. And the bus stop tells us that we are going out of city. these bus stops are very useful in that they tell you if you're heading to city or out of city, and that's a good way of gauging where you're heading, if you're in right direction or not. You can't get lost. And this area is called Pickerings in St. Lucie, and I always tell people it reminds me of Pickering, Ontario, Canada. We're passing Half Acre now, an area named for its size. And we get to Hope. And then we pass the Ionics freshwater Hope plant on our right. Look at that view. A clear blue sky, and you can see the deep blue sea out there. The air out here is nice and fresh, but of course we can't enjoy that now while recording this drive because the sound of the wind will impact our recording. The quality of the road deteriorates significantly from here on. Nothing much to talk about, both left and right, just cotton fields and cane fields. There's a left turn here that you can take, but it's not a very nice drive, very, very bumpy. Our camera would probably jump out of its cradle. Never found out what this old abandoned factory is on the right, but just fields and hills beyond recall on the left and the right. Lyrics from the national anthem. These fields and hills beyond recall are now our very own. And of course there are some homes up here. These people probably enjoy a very peaceful life. Don't even have street lights out here. It's very natural. Keeps you close to nature. And just slow down for these bumps. Here's another left turn. Hope Bridge Road. I think that must be one of the worst roads in all of Barbados. It's a very, very, very bad road, very bumpy, and believe it or not, there are homes down in there, and some lovely homes as well. And just surrounded by nature, just bush. So you are following us on this drive to get to the North Point. Doing this drive primarily for any visitors to Barbados. We are showing off the country today. It's a nice place of interest. You can see we're coming through a residential area with all types of homes, modest and sophisticated. You're gonna pass a church whose identity remains unknown to us, and the church appears to be out of use. There's no sign or anything to say what that church was, or which church met there, rather. So this turn off here, River Bay, St. Lucie District Hospital to the right. The district hospital is out there, and you can get to River Bay with that right turn. We stay on Highway 1C, so we make, it's like it goes to the left. Do not turn off at the sign that says River Bay. That as well is a lovely place of interest, lovely for a picnic and to see a natural formation of a river coming in, from being formed from the ocean itself. But you're not going to get to the north point, the tip, the edge of Barbados from that direction. When you get here, you actually feel as if you're lost and as if you're not going to anywhere in particular, but just drill down with confidence and stay on this road. I recommend doing this drive in the morning or late or early afternoon for the latest, because this isn't necessarily the nicest drive at night if you don't know what you're doing. This drive was choreographed and mapped by my son, a major contributor and planner and co-pilot of the D&J Drives project. He doesn't say much, but this is all his doing. He also takes care of everything technical. So we come across this road, sharp turns. Not even sure the name of this residential area, but there are some large houses accessed via dirt roads as well. Many incomplete houses, unfortunately, and of course many of the homes in this area they show signs of weathering because of its proximity to the water. So you can see some large houses on the left there. Come to this winding road. We're not lost, just buckle down with confidence, knowing that we'll get there. I'm not sure if the camera is picking up these large houses, but this is a rather well-to-do area in St. Lucie. Of course, scattered with more modest homes, but that's a feature of Barbados and many other Caribbean islands. Rich and small houses together. At this juncture, you can see a sign saying Animal Flower Cave. Turn right. If we stayed on that road, it would take us back out to the road that meets Hope Bridge Road. One of the features here when you enter is that there are people selling seashells and other ornaments. On the left, they usually approach vehicles to buy their various items. And this road is currently under reconstruction, so you can see there's a barrier there. We should really have gone there, but this temporary road was cut out to allow vehicles to access the north point. We'll just have to pull left because these party buses, Bajan bus these buses here go around Barbados playing their music and serving drinks, and people have nice parties on them. Look, you could see these people dancing and having a good time. And that shows you that this is really a tourist area. My son wanted us to do this drive to show everybody how to get to this North Point. It's a really nice place to be in Barbados. The road on the left is being redone, as I said, so soon from now you'll be able to have a nice drive up to it. If you look at the left there, that's where it would have turned. And there is a big solar farm here on our right. That's it out there, solar farm. And what you're seeing, viewers, is the North Point of Barbados. The Atlantic Ocean. So many islands have the Caribbean Sea to the left, the Caribbean Sea to the left, and the Atlantic Ocean to the right, but Barbados is the only Caribbean island that is completely surrounded by the Atlantic Ocean, and that's it out there. We are taking you to the North Point. Look at how the trees grow here, obviously being influenced by the direction of the wind. A nice point for the geography students. Geography students from different islands often come to Barbados to do field trips to see the Harrison Cave and other land formation. Barbados has a very interesting system in that the water is underground. They refer to it as an aquifer, and it's a limestone island, and I think only Jamaica has something similar, has a land formation similar in some parts, and you said Bahamas, right? But Barbados is limestone throughout. Here we are at the Animal Flower Cave, the North Point of Barbados. It says private property, no vendors allowed. Consumption of own food and drink is not permitted on this property. You can see the various cars there. People are parked to have lunch and to take in the North Point. So we'll pause here and come out of the vehicle to show you what it looks like. So we've just parked in the car park. This is what it looks like. Of course, everything is being improved. So this is where you would park, this area. That's the restaurant there. We're just taking a nice walk in. So the drive is over, but we're just doing this to show you the beautiful North Point. It's too beautiful not to show you. This is the restaurant over here. And that's the entrance to the animal flower cave itself. We'll just show you what it looks like down there. So you go right down that stairwell. Goes all the way down there, and that's the restaurant. There are little stores here to buy souvenirs, and both left and right. And then you meet this Mother Sally. And then there's a tree trunk with directions showing you how to get to other countries, or rather the directions of other countries. So it's 3 o'clock now. We started this journey just after 2. So just under an hour to get here. The traffic cooperated. And you take this path to get to the north point. You can also park right here. And here it is, viewers. One of the most beautiful sights in the world. If you came here, you would be able to sit, have a meal. Of course, they said you can't bring outside food. Sheltered areas here to sit and just look out. Trying not to capture these tourists and invade their privacy. But if you came here, you would be standing at the northmost point, the tip of Barbados. This is the Atlantic Ocean. There's nothing between where we are and Africa. We're signing off today at 3:02 p.m. in Barbados on the 28th of September 2024, and thanking you for joining us on this drive. And we hope that you appreciate the beauty of this site right here. There are caves that have been formed from many years, thousands of years of weathering from the ocean. And if you came to the animal flower cave behind us, you would get to a point below where we're standing, and you can actually get a better view of the ocean. It goes all the way around, So thanks for being with us. Please continue to subscribe to our channel. We appreciate all new members, and share this with any Barbadians you know living overseas who may be unable to travel and who miss home. Share this with them. It's one of the most beautiful things you can see. Look at how the sea is rocking in and out, covering that land out there. Please also like this video, because when you do that, it allows the video to reach more and more viewers on YouTube. 3:05 p.m. DNJ Drive signing off.